Hello everyone. Today in this lesson we are going to deal with the elastic collisions in two dimensions. In the last video we were discussing about elastic collision in one dimension. So here we are going to discuss about the two-dimensional condition. Okay. So for that, just imagine a mass m1, say it as this is a mass m1, is moving with a velocity u1 initially. Now just imagine another body is there in the same line and we are considering the mass is m2, and imagine the second body is now at rest. We can consider u2 is equal to 0. Now you consider this mass m1 is coming with a velocity u1 and is colliding with the mass m2. So maybe this body can go straight, that we have already discussed about, that is the elastic collision in one dimension, right? But in this case, we are considering the body after collision is moving in two-dimensional way. In this case, we are considering the body is not moving in a straight line. The two bodies after collision is moving with two different direction. Okay. So just to consider after the collision, okay, after the collision, the first body is moving with a velocity v1. Say it as a velocity v1. The mass m1 is now moving with a velocity v1, making an angle theta 1 with the x-axis. The same way, the mass m2 after collision with the m1, it is moving with the another direction with another velocity. You say it as the velocity is v2. You consider this angle is here what, theta 2. Okay. So what happened in this case here? After collision, m1 and m2 is now moving with a different speed or different velocity in different direction, making an angle with the x-axis theta 1 and theta 2. So we are considering here elastic collision, right? So what all things are conserved here? Momentum is conserved, at the same time kinetic energy is also conserved. So first of all, let's apply the conservation of momentum. First we are considering here about conservation of momentum. So what is meant by conservation of momentum? Conservation of momentum, when you are applying here, we can see here the body is not moving in a straight line, right? There is two components will be there. One is along x-axis and there is one is along y-axis. Now we are going to resolve the velocity into two components. One is along x-axis and another one is along y-axis. Just to consider the v1 velocity. Okay, we have a velocity here for the first body, that is a v1. v1 can be resolved into two components. v1 can be resolved into two components. If this is the angle theta 1, this is the angle theta 1, this angle also become theta 1. So we can write here in this direction the component will be v1 cos theta 1 and the other component is here about v1 sin theta 1. Okay, so v1 is now resolved into two components. One is along x-axis and other one is along y-axis. Same way, v2 also can be resolved into two components. You can see here the v2 component, velocity v2 can be resolved into two components. So if this is the angle theta 2, this angle also become theta 2. So this component become so this component become v2 cos theta 2 and here it become what, v2 sin theta 2. So we have resolved the v1 and v2 into what, two component. One is along x-axis and other one is along y-axis. So while you are applying the conservation of momentum, we should apply this conservation of momentum along two axes. So first of all, let's discuss about along the x-axis how to apply the conservation of momentum. So along the x-axis, what is the initial momentum? You can see here second body is at rest. So initial momentum along the x-axis is equal to m1 u1 is equal to, what is the final momentum along the x-axis? You can see here along the x-axis two components are acting here, that is m1 v1 cos theta 1 plus m2 v2 cos theta 2. Okay, so this is the conservation of momentum along x-axis. So we can write this equation as what, 1. Now the conservation of momentum can be applicable along y-axis also. So just before colliding, what is the momentum along y-axis? There is no y-axis component before collision, right? Because it was moving in straight line along the x-axis. So we can write here initial momentum along the y-axis is equal to 0. Now after collision, what is actually happening there? What is actually happening there? Two components are there. V1 sine theta 1 is acting upward along the plus y-axis, and V2 sine theta 2 is acting along the y-axis but minus y-axis. So what is the momentum here? We can consider here V1, that is M1 V1 sine theta 1 minus M2 V2 sine theta 2. This is the conservation of momentum when you are applying in the y-axis. So this is equation number 2. Okay. So conservation of momentum is applicable in two axes, along x-axis and along y-axis. So we got two equations here. The next one is that conservation of kinetic energy. So this is an elastic collision, right? So kinetic energy is also conserved. So what is the kinetic energy conservation? Initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy. Initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy. So we can write here what is initial kinetic energy? Half into m1 u1 square. Second body is at rest. So is equal to, what is the final kinetic energy of the two bodies? The first one, half into m1 into v1 square plus half into m2 into v2 square. So this is the conservation of kinetic energy. Initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy. So say it as this is the equation number 3. Now you see here, three equation we got. Three equation. But how many unknown quantities are here? You can see here the unknown quantities. V1 is an unknown quantity. V2 is a other unknown quantity. And theta 1 we don't know. And about theta 2. So there are four unknown quantities, but we have only three equations. So it is difficult to solve it, right? So at least one quantity among these four value should be measured before. Then only we can use this three equation to calculate the other quantity. Okay. So at least we measure any one of the quantity, then only other three quantities can be calculated. So we have derived the three equations here. Conservation of momentum along x-axis, along y-axis, and conservation of kinetic energy. So this is regarding what? Elastic collision in two dimension. Okay. Now let's discuss about the coefficient of restitution. Coefficient of restitution. So what is meant by coefficient of restitution? The definition you can see here. It is the ratio of relative velocity of separation after collision to relative velocity of approach before collision. Okay, so it's a ratio of relative velocity of separation after collision to relative velocity of approach before collision. Coefficient of restitution we are representing with a small letter e. So as we already learned in the previous video, that is u1 minus u2 is equal to v2 minus v1. Correct? We have discussed that one in the previous video. That is relative velocity of approach. Correct? Relative velocity of approach before collision is equal to relative velocity of separation after collision. This is we have already discussed here. So what is meant by coefficient of restitution? Coefficient of restitution E is equal to ratio of relative velocity of separation. That means we can write here v2 minus v1 divided by relative velocity of approach before collision. That is equal to what? u1 minus u2. This equation can also write like this: minus of v1 minus v2 divided by u1 minus u2. v2 minus v1 mean relative velocity of second body with respect to first body, right? This can also written as v12. v12 means what? Relative velocity of first body with respect to second body after collision. There is a minus sign here. Okay, so in this case we are considering what? Only the magnitude. We are considering only the magnitude. So this is the coefficient of restitution. Now why we are learning this one? Because in each collision the E value must be changing. E value depends on the material of the colliding particle. That means the coefficient of restitution depends upon what? The material of the colliding particle. Okay, so let's discuss about the few cases here. The first case, what you are considering here, for perfectly elastic collision. Okay, the collision is perfectly elastic collision. So what is the value of E? So what is the value of E? In perfectly elastic collision, the coefficient of restitution will be what? 1. Coefficient of restitution will be 1. What is the meaning there? The meaning is that U1 minus U2 is equal to V2 minus V1. What is the meaning? Relative velocity of approach before collision will be equal to relative velocity of separation after collision. So a perfectly elastic collision can be identified when E is equal to 1. The second one, the second type, just imagine inelastic collision. What is that? Inelastic collision. In inelastic collision, what is the value of E? The value of E will be greater than 0 or less than 1. So what is the coefficient of restitution E? E will be less than 1 and greater than 0 in what type of collision? Inelastic collision. What is the meaning of that one? Relative velocity of separation after collision will be less than relative velocity of approach before collision. So this type of collision is called what? Inelastic collision. Now look at the third case here. What is the third case? Just imagine the collisions are perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. Okay. If the collision is perfectly inelastic, the E value, coefficient of restitution will be 0. Coefficient of restitution will be 0. That means relative velocity of separation, that is V2 minus V1 is equal to 0. As we already learned, if it is a perfectly inelastic collision, the two bodies move together with a common velocity because they stick together. Right? So in this type of collision, the coefficient of restitution is equal to 0. The last one, the fourth case we are discussing here, that is the super elastic collision. Right? Super elastic collision. In super elastic collision, we have already discussed that one. Explosive collision. The value of coefficient of restitution will be greater than 1. Coefficient of restitution will be greater than 1. Why? Its kinetic energy here increases. In superelastic collision, kinetic energy increases. So this is the use of coefficient of restitution. So E is equal to 1, perfectly elastic. If E is less than 1 and greater than 0, inelastic collision. If E equal to 0, perfectly inelastic. If E is greater than 1, that collision is super elastic collision. I hope you understood this one. Thank you all of you.